So you might have seen the security situation that Artix Entertainment's in right now. They made a post about it. I thought I'd go over, read this, get my thoughts, all that on it, like I do with most AE related things on this channel. So let's get into it. So from my understanding, what happened is a lot of staff accounts and stuff like that had their like emails and passwords and stuff accessed according to Twitter. Now, this was liked by Alina, this tweet right here, from Gold Raven, who you might know. I've looked into this, and based on the research I've done, the leaked X staff list is from years ago, not from any security glitch. The player's leaked info was more likely stolen or sold accounts, because you'll notice names are repeated and passwords repeated a lot. So Alina liked that tweet, so I would assume this information that Gold Raven's typing out here is pretty much valid. And then we have a whole post to go over here. Goes more into depth on that. Okay, so Artix starts the post by saying he flew back from a funeral on Wednesday. And then he says, if you are someone who has made up your mind that we are an evil, soulless company, this post is not for you. If you're a longtime fan of our games, our community, and our commitment to creating fun game worlds, then this might be a fun read. All right. Next paragraph says, just to be clear, had there been an actual issue with the game or account security, we would not have called this drama at all. Yeah, so as far as I can tell, and this is usually the case, there isn't an actual security breach going on right now, although people are trying to say that on social media for some reason. Yeah, like I said before, the tweet before, yeah, it's pretty much not. But anyway, we can go through this more. You should still change your passwords in your accounts. My account on AQ Worlds has been accessed without, I never give my password to anyone. I don't, you just take my word for that, I guess. Like, no one has my password, but my account had been accessed in the past before. I got it back very quickly because they just went to Yolgar and like started talking to people and saying they stole my account or something, which is good, and they didn't delete anything, so I'm thankful for that. It might have been a good like white hat person that did it. I don't know. Maybe they're just checking my security on my account. To be fair, my password wasn't that great on my account. It's a lot better now. It's just random strings of numbers and letters and symbols to the max limit that they allow for a password. So you should probably do that as well on your account. Although these days you can't brute force an account like you could when mine got access. I assume a brute force was used to get into my account because they didn't have a catch or anything. You could just spam password entry retries to infinity and it never stopped you. But now it does. So you might be a little bit safer even if you don't have that crazy of a password these days. Anyway, the actual post here, and not my ramblings. So Thursday morning, we spent time deleting posts made by fake social media accounts named after our team members. We cleaned up spam across our incoming email inboxes, social media comment sections, and have been tracking a small number of people who have been attempting to social engineer members of our team to gain access to accounts that are not theirs. So yeah, most hacking is actually social engineering. You'll call up a phone line, talk to a person, pretend to be someone that you're not, and then to gain access to information that you shouldn't be able to gain by pretending to be someone. That's how most hacking works. It's not really typing into a command prompt and all that stuff. But anyway, then the denial of service attacks started on the servers. These were really quite problematic from 2015 to 19. If you're playing around this time, you would remember the DDoS. That happened quite often. But our defenses have gotten so much stronger. We have grown and improved. Realizing those attacks were not working, they started targeting specific APIs in an attempt to overload them. See, this is why I hate talking about them in detail. The team identifies what is happening and creates or adds throttles to help improve against these attacks, because every time I address an issue, I have to include what we have done to prevent them. To be fair, we have to do this every day, but the sudden spike comes at the tail end of a long and fascinating story. So, this has been building up for several months now. It all centers around one guy and a few of his online acquaintances who wanted an account. at all costs. I really want to know the name of the account they want. What account is so important that they're going through all this effort? Look, while there are no hard feelings from my end, we are not giving the account back. We are just going to continue making video games. This is why we are keeping this vague, because the people who are doing this will see this post, but we are not calling anyone out. We're telling the story without names to keep the peace, but address the community's questions and make sure everyone knows the reality of the situation. Yeah, this is actually pretty interesting. I didn't think, like, seeing the title of this post, I didn't think it would be what is going on? All right, last week's misrepresented security situation. Last week, we publicly addressed players' concerns about a list posted on social media. It showed 500 compromised game accounts. It should be noted Adventure Quest Worlds has 45 million registered accounts. These accounts were not compromised by hacking our database. We wrote a post to explain the situation and were frankly horrified at the response. We were accused of everything from a corporate cover-up to blatant lying. So once again, I just want to state that our accounts and databases were not hacked. Okay, if you're reading this and you think that they're lying to cover up an actual database breach, I honestly do not think a database got breached, because if you look at a bunch of people on Twitter, in Alina's replies, and anywhere you can reply to an AE related thing, there's nobody complaining that their account got hacked. Like, that's not happening. There's not tens of people, hundreds of people complaining their accounts got breached. No one got their account stolen recently. It might be, now you might say, well, maybe they're holding off, they're waiting, they got the information, going to use it at a future date. Could be valid if that is the case, but I feel like if they did get into this, they would probably at least try to get into a few accounts, and I haven't seen any of that. Yeah, I haven't seen any. There's a lot of accounts with a lot of like good stuff that they'd want to get into that are public and posted on Twitter, and you could go to players post on Twitter, and you could go and see these players with their really expensive accounts, and if they had the information for those accounts, they could get into them and steal them potentially, but they're not. So I haven't seen anything. I don't know. Maybe you have. Let me know in the comments. All right, let's continue. These accounts, most of which were old, were the result of certification stuffing. I don't know what that is. If you have never heard of the term, do not worry. It just means they looked up the passwords on, they looked up the passwords on other compromised accounts on the web. Yeah, so when a data breach happens on a different website and your password's the same, it's pretty easy to try that on different other websites, and yeah. You can see how that works. It just means they looked at the passwords, compromised accounts, they gain access to them. We protected the accounts that were posted, and player support has been helping anyone concerned about account safety, like they do every day. We handle a huge amount of problems behind the scenes every day. Most of them are pretty standard, like in any other company. Some of them, though, are worth a long story post to give you more context and information, like this one. Starting a few months ago, I got a large number of messages indicating that people were attempting to access my social media accounts. This actually happened to me before. It's kind of weird. Like, you see people like trying to get through your two-factor and stuff. That's actually happened to me a few times. They were clearly trying to access my and other team members' accounts. After attempting to access my account and assuming the info of other staff members, then we just started getting all of these player support email requests. They were trying to apologize and get access to other accounts. The velocity of this is what was so troubling. Then, when they got told no, they go and start messaging other people, trying to get into the DMs of other staff members. They suddenly invent problems that urgently need attention. They know the older staff members who they are. The older staff members know who they are. Okay, sorry. But the newer ones do not. They have not been trained on how to handle these things. They just respond helpfully, and because these guys use different identities, it takes a while to filter back up to the higher admins who know what is going on. Okay, so yeah, they have newer staff working with them, and that's how a lot of the social engineering will get It's not the senior guys getting social engineered. It's the guys that are new to the job. If you're asking, why does someone do this? Why so much effort to just get an account in Adventure Quest Worlds or AQ3D or one of our other games? You're not alone. It is a fair question. Sometimes it is their account they want back. Sometimes there is a seller or buyer who will pay real money for an account. Sometimes it is a bet. All right? And sometimes it seems it is just for sport. In this particular case, these people have done this for a decade and a half now. Wait, what? Wait, that's the whole time AQ Worlds has been up. That's exactly the amount of time AQ Worlds has been up. So it's an AQ Worlds. Like they say other games here, but this has to be AQ Worlds related if they use the 15 years thing here. Or more. Okay, so it might be not AQ Worlds related, but anyway. Maybe they do it because it's habit. Well, it was the AQ Worlds accounts and stuff that they were posting online, so it probably is. Or it reminds them of the old days. Regardless, when they do not get what they want, they escalate and head to social media. Interesting. That is what happened here. Yeah, you could tell immediately when you see those posts that there's just people that aren't very happy. We saw the post and took immediate action internally to investigate and protect the accounts because we do not take these things lightly. But if there really were a problem, people would be walking around as Artix, Selena, Captain Rhubarb, Nytheria, and other admins because they had gained access to their accounts. To be clear, this had not happened. This is not an issue. Yeah, so like I explained before, like there's a lot of high profile accounts that would have been taken and used if this was actually the case, and they weren't. So if Artix Entertainment or an episode of The Office, anyone listening in on our team meetings would hear how much people are helping each other or working to make sure the devs have what they need to make fun updates. At the end of the day, what really matters is our mission and our values. We create and run video games. Our players, some who have been with us for 20 years, love that we are funny, good-hearted, and that even through difficult times, we never give up. Okay, this is weird. We have made mistakes in the past. Yes, they have. We may in the future. They probably will. But you cannot create and evolve without making mistakes. Very true. You correct them. When you find them, you try to prevent them from reoccurring, but you have to keep creating. Adventure Quest Worlds and our other games are not for everyone. Our games are for the people who love them. What are these statements? And those are the people who want to keep building and improving them for. Okay, I have a mild form of dyslexia. I'm sorry. Anyway, so this reads like a lot like Artix Entertainment propaganda here. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think these two paragraphs needed to be here in the story at all. I don't think they added anything, but thanks for that, Artix. But the rest is kind of interesting. I like how there's constantly like people trying to get access to specific accounts and how they've been doing it for a very long time, and how they've been identified and all that. That is pretty interesting. All right. The post continues. Additional fires addressed this week you may not even be aware of. Throughout the history of the company, we have given bug bounties to players who help us find legitimate security concerns. This is similar to what companies like Google and Microsoft do. This is not commonly known, but it's important to share with you right now, as players are posting and misrepresenting screenshots of Captain Rhubarb game reports and discussing bounty rewards. There have been times that warranted giving money, an item reward, or in extreme instances, granting other reward requests to a person who helped solve a really big issue that impacted the community. If the reward results in serious unintended consequences, the rewards may be replaced by something close in value. Wait, what? If the rewards result in serious unintended what? What reward did they give out that... I want the story behind that. I want the story behind that, Artix. What the hell? If the reward result Did I read this wrong? If the rewards result in serious unintended consequences, the rewards may be replaced. What reward did they give out that had unintended serious consequences? What did they do? It's kind of weird that people pocket watch Artix like this. Like he had a very successful game in like from 2008 to 2014. Like, and he's the CEO. Of course, he's gonna have money. I don't know if he came from money, and I don't think that's relevant at all. He's posted pictures of his house, his car, and stuff on Facebook, which is public. So he has a very nice house. He has like dragon statues next to his pool and stuff. Really sick. He had an i8, a BMW i8 for a while. I don't know if he still has that. If I had to guess, I bet you he replaced it with a Tesla, which is very not based. He probably should have got a cooler car. But yeah, you got the i8 in the first place, so maybe replace it with something cool at this point. Maybe he still has it. The i8 is kind of cool. Anyway, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'll see you. Peace.